take a quarterback at number 3. But is George Kittle right that they should stick with Jimmy G? With that, we say good morning, everyone. Welcome to First Things First. John Wolf, Nick Wright, Brandon Marshall, Kevin Wiles. Who said no? Who gave me a no?
Me.
Brandon. Was that you,
come
Brandon?
On. Draft the 49ers won't flirt with a quarterback. No way, Jenna. No way.
I think they might be
Why would
flirting.
they do that?
I recognize the flirting anywhere. All right. Let us stick with the draft, start the show. We are 30 days out till we get some answers to a lot of questions. Basically all the questions except who's going number 1. We know that. Urban Meyer confirming yesterday the Jags are, quote, headed towards taking Trevor Lawrence. So with the second overall pick, the New York Jets, as we see it, they got themselves 4 options. Let's run through them. They can draft a quarterback and trade Sam Darnold. They can draft a quarterback and keep Sam Darnold. They can draft somebody else and keep Sam Darnold, or they could trade down. A lot to unpack here. Brandon, I'm going to start with you. Take a look at these 4 options here. What's the best option for your JETS Jets?
I mean, it's the only option right now. You got to draft a quarterback, and you have to trade Sam Darnold. You get a second-round pick, a third-round pick. Now you're sitting with 7 picks in the first 4 rounds. Joe Douglas, his day one, his first press conference, he said he wanted to build this team through the draft. Now you have 7 picks in 4 rounds. You have everything you need to go build the foundation of this team for the next 10 years. If you do it right, Joe Douglas isn't a great general manager. Joe Douglas got the job because he was a great scout. This is your moment to get it right. This is your moment to solidify your position in Jets history, Joe. Don't mess it up. Go get your quarterback, Justin. And I say Justin because do you really want to put Zach Wilson into this environment? We keep talking about the New York media. You guys live in New York. You know how tough it is. You have to be cut from a certain type of cloth. This dude, Zach Wilson, I love him. He's going to be successful in the NFL, but he's been tucked away in BYU. This dude's done it on the biggest stage 2 years in a row. He is cut for this type of environment. So you go get Justin Fields because he can handle this New York media, and he's a baller. He has all the tangibles you need to lead a team for 10, 15 years, Nick.
Well, Brandon, I'm glad someone finally is supporting Justin Fields. All year long during the actual college football season, all I heard was Justin Fields is going to be the number 2 pick. And since the game stopped being played, now you're hearing is Justin Fields going to be the 5th quarterback taken. So I'm glad you're supporting Justin Fields. Can we put up those lists of the 4 Jet options? Because I think we can easily eliminate a few of them. So if you look at number 4, trade down and keep Darnold, they obviously and clearly have chosen not to do that. How do I know? Because the deal the Dolphins got for the 3rd pick, obviously the Jets could have gotten for the 2nd pick. If they wanted to trade down and keep Darnold, you don't think San Francisco called the Jets first? If they want the 3rd pick, they'd love to have the 2nd pick and said to them, you can have the 12th pick, 2 future firsts and a future 3rd for the 2nd pick. They said no to that. So cross that one off. Draft a non-quarterback. Listen, America, there is one truism in the NFL draft. If you are drafting in the top 5 and you take a non-quarterback and don't have a quarterback, you've made the wrong pick. There is, even if you get a Hall of Famer at another position, if you were to go back 10 years later and redraft, the best quarterbacks would go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, depending on how many there are. So your only options are draft a quarterback and trade Darnold, or draft a quarterback and keep Darnold. Those are the only realistic options. And I 100% agree with Brandon that I think if you are going to bring in the number 2 pick of the draft to be the future face of your franchise, you can't have sitting there backing him up the guy who was the number 3 pick of the draft a couple years ago. You have to pretend the Darnold era never happened. If you end up, that means trading him for 30 cents on the dollar, you do it. But to me, the Jets have one option and one option only. Draft a quarterback, get what you can from Darnold, and turn the page.
I'm here to keep Sam Darnold. I like Sam Darnold. I want Sam Darnold to have another shot. In fact, Brandon, I have a little business venture for you. I would like Sam Darnold to have yet another pro day so everybody can fall back in love with Sam Darnold. He has lost the narrative somewhere. And it was either when he threw a pick six on his first throw ever, he actually ended up winning the game, or when he told the Patriots, or he didn't tell the Patriots, told the NFL, he's like, oh, I'm seeing ghosts out there, rather than saying Bill Belichick's defense is awesome, or when the poor guy got mono and everyone held that against him. During this pro day, you heard the same things you heard about Zach Wilson. He's really smooth, everything's under control.
Right.
Look at the ball spin out of his hands.
Even
he's
keeled.
6'4", he's 225, he's bigger than Zach Wilson. But he's lost the narrative. So, Nick, I'll go back to you. This guy is going to be on his third coach. He's had no offensive line. He's had no weapons. Why are you so eager to give up on him?
Well, hold on. It's not that I'm so eager to give up on him as much as, and I am kind of eager, I'll explain that, but the Jets made their decision when they didn't make the trade with the Niners. If they wanted to keep Darnold, Wilds, what is the possible justification for not getting 3 first-round picks for your draft pick and a third-rounder?
I don't know.
The only position in the league that can be worth 3 first-round picks is quarterback. So when they don't make that trade, they are telling the world we're drafting a quarterback. And you're right, Brandon, I agree. If Darnold held a pro day, I'm sure he would look great. But what Darnold has working against him is, unlike Zach Wilson, we have seen Sam Darnold in the NFL for 3 years, and he's been terrible. Zach Wilson might end up being terrible. It might be great, might be mediocre. But like we have the actual evidence on Darnold that it hasn't worked for him thus far.
You know what? You and I are right. We're right. The only option is 1 and 2, but you can't keep Sam Darnold, so you got to go with 1. You got to draft a quarterback, and you have to trade Sam Darnold. But Wiles has a point, though. You know, sometimes you draft guys and they go to the wrong situation. You insert Sam Darnold into the Jets organization when you have Adam Gase there, no wide receivers, no offensive line. I don't know if we've really seen the best of Sam Darnold, Nick. I like the kid. Wild showed a video yesterday of the kid slinging it around, and it took me back to 2 years ago. This is when he had mono, and we were sitting on set on Inside the NFL, and I'm looking at Phil Simms. I'm like, damn, this kid can really sling it. This kid can really throw it. I got an opportunity to sit down with them a few times, you know, back in Florham Park when I went there. I really like the kid, but you can't do that in this media. There's no way that the ownership, the Johnsons, and then Joe Douglas, they can sit with Sam Darnold on the bench or even go into the season as their starting quarterback. There's no way you're going to get crushed. Like, we're talking about a New York minute. Like, if you got to make your move right now.
And it might be best for Darnold. Like, I am not sitting here saying Darnold will never be good. Like, you know, Dusty before the show reminded me of the Ryan Tannehill arc, who also, by the way, had the curse of Adam Gase put on him and then went somewhere else and has been very successful. I'm not saying Darnold's career's over. What I'm saying is, if he's in New York next year, it's either with the #2 pick of the draft staring over his shoulder, or he will be competing with every quarterback taken other than Trevor Lawrence. Meaning, if Darnold has a bad game,
going to be the
and whether it's Zach Wilson